All right, welcome back to Bert's Basics. My name is Peter Burt, and I teach at Box Elder High School. I'm glad you guys are here. Today we're going to talk about digestion and beginning of the digestive system. So according to wow, that's not a very good picture. Sorry, it's kind of a little fuzzy. According to the state core, this is what you're supposed to know about digestion. So this video, we're going to cover standard 1 through 3, and we'll come back and review these at the end. So let's start with this guy. Are you telling me that does not look tasty? Tasty, tasty. I'm sure it's fat-free. Okay, guys, when we talk about the functions of the digestive system, you have to know the difference between all the words. So let's make sure we get the words down. Let's start with the first word. Are you ready? The first word we need is this word right here, and the word is ingestion. Whenever I say the word ingestion, that is shoving food into your face. So we ingest a lot of food. Once we ingest it, then we're going to do some mechanical chopping up with our teeth, stuff like that. Then we come down here to the next one, okay? This is where we actually talk about the magic word of digestion. Digestion is nothing more than when I have a long chain of something, okay? And all I'm doing is breaking bonds. That's what digestion is. So whenever I say digestion, everyone always thinks it's kind of like an all-inclusive thing. That's not necessarily true. Digestion is taking something big and destroying it into something small. Now, the stomach is the king digester, but we also digest in my small intestine. We digest a lot of places. So we have to ingest the food. Once we ingest it, we have to digest the food. And then finally, we get to the most important one, which is absorption. Okay? That's when we take the substance from our intestines and shove it into the bloodstream or the lacteal system, which we'll talk about later in this. Let's just say this. It's where I get the nutrients into my food. And then if we want to add a last one, we can talk about the last one, which is defecation. Defecation is this fancy word for pooping, and we can poop it out. So when you guys sit down to eat today, just remember, ingest the food, then you'll digest it for a couple hours, and our end goal is to absorb it into our bloodstream. And whatever we don't absorb, we will defecate it out. That right there is the main purpose and function of the digestive system: ingestion, digestion, absorption, and defecation. So make sure we get those guys down really well. So let's talk about it. We ingest here at the mouth, and we're going to do a video on each one of these, so don't freak out too bad. We're going to ingest it right here into my mouth. This is where we get different types of digestion. Remember, what was digestion? Digestion was taking something big and destroying it to something small. Do we all agree? That's what we said digestion was, is chopping it up into small pieces. In the state core, there are two types of digestion they really want you to focus on. Personally, we're going to focus on one more than the other in these videos, but the first one is pretty straightforward, and it's mechanical. Okay? Mechanical digestion is physical digestion. This is when I'm actually using a physical process, which would include the teeth. The teeth will mechanically digest the food. The tongue will push the food around. Now, don't get me wrong, we got taste buds on our tongue, but that doesn't necessarily help with digestion. That helps with sensation. But this can actually compress the food against our palate, right? So chewing, mechanical. Using your tongue to smash, mechanical. If we come down here to the stomach, okay, the stomach has really cool muscles. It actually has 3 different layers of muscles that are going to help kind of squish the food. That is a mechanical form of digestion. Okay, so whenever you're mechanical, think physical force. In this class, though, we are going to focus, on the different type of digestion, which is chemical. Chemical involves this letter these 3 letters right here. Now, if you've had this class before, or any class, you know what an ACE is. Lactase, maltase, amylase, peptidase, okay, lipase. ACE is an enzyme. Whenever enzymes are involved to help destroy something from big to small, we will call that chemical digestion. And believe it or not, chemical digestion that starts here in the oral cavity. That's where these guys come in, okay? Whenever I say saliva, you guys always think, oh, saliva is spit. Saliva also has many enzymes in it as well. So saliva helps chemically digest my food. And then the teeth help physically or mechanically digest my food. And the master ones we're going to talk about, if we scroll down, so we start with my oral cavity. Then it goes to a place called your pharynx. Okay, we're going to do a video on each one of these, so don't panic too much. The pharynx is actually used in two systems because he's going to be where food travels and air travels, so he's kind of a two-way system. Then we go to esophagus. I always pronounce it esophagus because you guys know phage is to eat. So this is your eating tube, okay? And that eating tube is going to go down to your stomach. We have a video on the stomach where we'll learn all the parts and pieces of the stomach. And I have a question for you. Why is the liver here? I'm pretty sure the food never enters the liver. I'm pretty sure food never enters my pancreas. I'm pretty sure food, oh, one S, okay? I'm pretty sure food never enters my gallbladder. And I'm pretty sure food never enters my salivary glands. So why are these guys on here? And the answer is, you have to understand what they're there for. Food does not go in these guys. These guys are accessories, okay? The accessory structures or glands, okay? If you're going to go on a date, okay, you are going to accessorize yourself. Those are things you can add to yourself to make you more beautiful. Like a ring, like a necklace, like earrings, like a watch. Those are accessories. We call these accessory organs. Now, if you were in class and I said, hey, what's an accessory organ? Most people say, oh, these aren't needed. The liver is an accessory organ. So yes, they are desperately needed. They add a lot of content to help with digestion and absorption, okay? But food does not go through them. So then what do we call this thing that food actually goes through? So if we actually look at this where food goes through, it goes by two names. I am going to probably call it the GI tract in most of my videos. G stands for gastro, and I stands for intestinal. Okay, are you guys okay with that word? Gastrointestinal tract, that's your GI tract. It's your stomach and your intestine. Sorry, gastro, I guess if you didn't know that, that means stomach, so we probably should write that down if you didn't know that. But in your book, they're going to call it the alimentary canal. So whenever you hear the alimentary canal, we are talking from mouth all the way down to anus. Once it drains out of the stomach, okay, it's going to go in my small intestine for a stint. Then it drains into the cecum right here. We'll do a video on each one of these, so don't panic. Then it spends a while in my large intestine, the rectum, which is a storage tank for feces, and anus. So whenever we go from mouth to anus, that is going to be your alimentary canal, okay? So now can I go back here to these guys? So my alimentary canal is the structures that food will pass through. And food is a weird term because we're going to change his name all throughout this journey. Okay, accessory structures. These guys assist and aid, right? But they don't have food go through them. So they're accessory structures. They are very, 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 very important. Okay, we did chemical versus mechanical digestion, and we did the purposes of the digestive system. And congratulations, you are officially done with standards 1, 2, and 3. So just to make sure you guys are feeling pretty good, go ahead and take a timeout. Go ahead and answer these questions right here. And the answer is coming up in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. There you go. There you go. So liver, gallbladder, salivary glands. Those are 4 accessory structures. And we'll talk about salivary glands and the proper order. Oral cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach. Small comes before large. Don't forget that. Rectum and anus. Hey guys, thanks for watching Bert's Basics, and I'll see you on the flip side.